We have now come to section 3 of lesson 3-2. Here on the previous couple of slides, you saw the following. Although all of the methods worked, Charlie and Chloe wanted to know why they were working. Here's an experiment to discover what went wrong with Charlie's first method. Look at what happens when you multiply or divide by a negative number. First, pick two different numbers. Second, multiply both numbers by 3. Multiply both numbers by negative 3. Divide both numbers by 2. And divide both numbers by negative 2. So they started with 2 and 4. And they said, okay, well, 2 is less than 4. When they multiplied by 3, they said 6 is less than 12. However, when they multiplied by negative 3, negative 6 is greater than negative 12. Next, they divided by 2. So 1 is less than 2. But when they divided both sides by negative 2, negative 1 is greater than negative 2. It says try this experiment again with two different numbers and record your results in the My Notes section of this page. Compare your results to the rest of the class. So I'm going to do an example over here, and I'm going to pick, we're going to say Dosser picks. I'm going to pick the number 0 and 10. Okay. Well, let's take a look at that. If I were to compare these, 0 is less than 10, right? It says multiply both numbers by 3. So I have 0 and 10 times 3 is going to be 30. So 0 is less than 30. Well, whenever I multiply by negative 3, I'm going to have 0 and negative 30. Well, here, 0 is greater than negative 30. Let's take a look at whenever I divide by 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 0 is still less than 5. Let's take a look at when we divide by the negative 2. Here this is going to give me 0 and negative 5. Well, here 0 is greater than negative 5. So what should we be noticing here? Anytime that we multiply or divide by that negative, notice that my sign is opposite directions, so it reversed itself. But that was only when we did because here we did the multiplication of 3, we did the multiplication of negative 3. Here I did a division of 2 and a division of negative 2. So it was only when that negative came into play that I had to result in that reversing of my inequality symbol. Let's take a look at questions 12 and 13 that still go along with this. Express regularity and repeated reasoning. What happens each time you multiply each side of the inequality by a negative number? What happens each time you divide each side of the inequality by a negative number? So when multiplying by a negative number, the values on each side of the inequality change in relationship to each other. Similarly, when dividing each side, by a negative number, the relationship between the numbers on either side of the inequality sign changes. How does this affect how you solve an inequality? Well, we just have to remember that when you multiply or divide by a negative number, the inequality sign must be reversed so that it reflects the change in the relationships of the numbers. On to your debriefing question.